Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rocks with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. So let's get to it. All right, rock stars. First story up: the cancellation of the return of Roseanne. Y'all talk about a grand opening and a grand closing, right? I woke up on Tuesday and there was some talk about Roseanne having Twitter fingers and her complaining about Valerie Jarrett. Now, Valerie Jarrett is a black woman who was a senior advisor during the Obama administration. She was one of his closely held advisors, and I'm not even sure why Roseanne felt that she needed to talk about Valerie Jarrett that day, but she tweeted out, and I quote, "Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equal VJ," talking about Valerie Jarrett. Well, of course, people were not going to let that slide. I mean, just in that tweet, you have offended black people, you have offended Muslim people, you are comparing them to a Planet of the Ape, saying that they had a baby. Very, very offensive and reflective of her racist views. So when she got the backlash, and it came swiftly, believe me, she, at least it seemed like she realized her mistake and she apologized. But that was not enough. The entertainment president, Channing Dungey, you guys know she is a black woman. She said, and I quote again, "Roseanne's Twitter statement is abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with our values," unquote. And didn't take that long for Channing to decide to cancel this highly successful show that had just returned to their network, had a great first season run, had just been renewed for its second season, was expected to come back in September with all of the players, all of the writers, all of the cast, everybody. And just with those few words of Roseanne's tweet, she has undid all of that. And we can place the blame squarely on Roseanne's shoulders. Like I said, she did apologize. It seemed that she was very clear on her mistake, saying she shouldn't have said it. People don't need to take up for her. It was a terrible thing to say, yada, yada, yada. But oh, what a difference a day makes. As the Trump supporters / Roseanne supporters started to come out of the woodwork and then tell her that no, she was not wrong in what she said, that it was just her view, and that, wasn't fair for her to be getting attacked like this. It seems like, Roseanne got some balls about herself. And then she decided to start placing the blame elsewhere. She felt like Wanda Sykes' tweet. Wanda immediately came out after Roseanne's tweet went viral. Wanda Sykes, who is a writer on the show, came out and said she will not be returning for the second season. Poor Wanda, she can never catch a break. Every time she catches on to something, it don't last, okay? But yeah, she said that she's not going to return. She had no plans of returning to the second season. Sarah, what's her last name? Gilbert, who is also the talk show, one of the talk show hosts on the show, The Talk, she came out and said, in layman's terms, the ignorant shit that Roseanne said does not reflect the rest of the cast. And those two tweets are the reason why Roseanne now believes that the show was canceled. And really, she put more emphasis on the fact that Wanda Sykes said that she was not returning. She said that ABC got antsy, got scared, didn't want to be labeled racist, that they could have been very easily if they continue to keep themselves associated with Roseanne Barr. And she's saying that that's the reason why they canceled the show. No, I don't believe that that is the reason why they canceled the show, Miss Roseanne Barr. They canceled the show because you are reflective of the systematic racism. People have gotten so comfortable with your stupid ass president. He has divided this nation so much, and he has made it possible for racists like you to come out of the woodwork and say these things and feel like it is okay. Yeah, freedom of speech is always going to be there, but you are always going to suffer the consequences. We all must realize that. So now Roseanne is responsible for all of those people that were working on that show. I mean, that was a big fucking ensemble cast. They have all lost their jobs. Some of them haven't been working. Some was new. The poor little black girl, the new little black girl on there, she just started. I saw a cute little interview with her. She had all types of personality. I'm sure she will land on her feet. But still, all of these great opportunities for these people is gone. Now, of course, people are not unhappy with the fact that Roseanne is off the TV. I actually watched, we talked about it when it first came on. I watched the first 2 episodes and I haven't watched anything since. I never was a big Roseanne fan. However, those first 2 episodes I watched, you can tell that it was a good show with some good quality writing, and I was okay with the content because I felt like in this world there are Trump supporters and there are other people who don't support Trump, okay? And I felt like it was reflected. If they were trying to show middle America views and how people feel, I thought they were doing a pretty good job, at least from those 2 episodes that I saw, with Roseanne and her sister Jackie both having such extreme different views. Okay, so I was fine with it as long as there was going to be a balance of the Trump rhetoric with you know, the leftist view. Then I was going to be cool because I feel like it could open up dialogue, and I think that that was the angle that they were trying to go for on the show. However, you know, people, I don't know what happens. Well, Roseanne said that she was, you know, she was in an ambient stupor and she wasn't thinking clearly, and you know, it just amplified the racist views. Well, Ambien came out and was like, at no time does it say on our side effects, and there are plenty of side effects, does it ever say that racism can be expected once you swallow their pills. Yeah, Roseanne is just an idiot. We tried to give her a chance and get up there and, you know, temper her views for Trump and all of his values with those of us who don't support Trump would feel. I kind of felt like this might be a good look for the show, but tried to give her a chance, you know, and she blew it. She blew it. I feel sorry as for the cast who didn't have any choice. I'm sure they was all pretty happy with the results of the first season, and then to find out, yeah, you know, it's done. It's a wrap. The shit was kind of funny to me. I was like, well, damn. But there was no way that Channing was going to let that one slide. You are a black woman. You are the head of, you know, entertainment there at ABC, and you would let somebody say something so utterly offensive and disgraceful. Like, how could you? There's no way that she would have. And I think that, you know, a round of applause should be given to Miss Channing Dungey for not caring about the money, not caring about the views, not caring about anything other than what is right. And she was supported by the big wigs up there in ABC. Listen, race is such a touchy subject. I have learned this doing Top of the Blogs. The things that you used to be able to maybe even joke about even 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, you cannot do it today. You just can't do it now. People are not feeling it the same way. Not that I felt like she was joking. I felt like she was very serious, but you know what I'm saying. Nobody is willing to let these things slide anymore. So Roseanne has nobody to blame but herself. You can place blame and talk about it all you want to, but that's it. Okay? Can't really say nothing else about it. Hope the rest of the cast are able to find, you know, jobs and get back out there, whether it be on TV or in movies or whatever. But yeah, just like, oh well, Roseanne. What I tell you guys about social media all the time, it is the devil. Will get you in trouble each and every time. Oh well, Roseanne. Y'all got your customer anyone that white people. The white people too. The white people so sad. Guys, I really don't know how I'm going to explain the story because I really don't understand the beef. I don't know who Pusha T is. I couldn't tell you who he was from a can of milk, child. I've heard the name over the years, but if I was to see him standing right next to me at Rite Aid, child, I wouldn't know who he was. Okay. But yet and still, Pusha T's name is all out in the news and the media right now because of this supposed beef that he has with Drake. Now, let me back up a little bit. Pusha T just had an album that came out. It's on GOOD Music. That's Kanye West's label. And there was some sort of hoopla over the fact that Kanye and Pusha T had some disparaging remarks about Drake on one of his songs. I didn't even find out what the name of the song was, y'all. Y'all go look it up yourselves. Speaking of the album that Pusha T came out, I think it's just terrible. I think it's horrible, abhorrent that they would put that picture of Whitney Houston's bathroom. They're saying that it's drug covered. I mean, I blew up the picture as much as I could and tried to look and see if it was drug covered. I mean, it just looked like it was messy, and it could have been the bathroom of somebody who is on drugs and doesn't necessarily care to clean up and do things like that, but I couldn't really see any drugs. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I thought it was just in poor taste for them to do something like that. This woman is dead. She still has family. And you are putting, you're glorifying almost the fact that she had these troubles on something that is forever an album cover. I mean, people don't have album covers anymore, but you know what I mean. I just think that it's in poor taste, and but I think that also shows where Kanye West's mind is at the time. I mean, he's going to put the surgeon who was responsible for giving the last plastic surgery to his mother, Donda West, who died as a result of that surgery. He's putting that surgeon's face on the cover of his next album. It just starts to seem so stunts and shows this. It's more about the cover at this point than the fucking work that's on the album. And that's where you start to feel like Kanye is in this sensationalized, just kind of doing whatever he think he can, just for the shock value. But anyway, I'm so getting off track here. So they had something to say about Drake. Drake came back like Drake does. He put together a song that had his cute little, comeback lines and witty remarks and, all of that. Everything that you would find in a regular answer song when there's a beef that's supposedly going on. After he did that, Pusha T has now come out with a second song that is directly addressing Drake and his personal issues, things that he has had to confront over his life, the fact that his mom and dad necessarily didn't have the best relationship, his questions on being too black or not black enough, and this thing that's been floating around for the last year, albeit very quiet lately, before this beef started up, about Drake fathering a child by a porn star. Now that had been out, I remember, on Famous before she went on to that Gossip in the City, where she's now asking you guys to pay her for gossip. But I remember before she went on to that website, on her Instagram site, she kept posting and talking about this girl that was saying that she was pregnant by him, and he was, trying to get her to get an abortion and telling her that she wanted just money from him. And I mean, it was a whole bunch of talk at one time, and then all of a sudden it was gone. I forgot all about it, but I started to hear about it here and there, whispers about it every now and then I just kind of figured that, okay, maybe he was the father of this baby. They got tested. They realized that he was a father, and he quietly paid that girl off not to say anything, because for her to be so vocal at one time and then for her to just shut up, it sounds to me like Drake finally came around, accepted that that's his baby, but put that on the hush. And as long as she was getting her money, the baby is being taken care of. Drake is the father, but not for the public's consumption. Okay, that was what I kind of figured. And now Pusha T talks about the little boy, I guess his name is Adonis, and how Drake is a deadbeat dad, or not letting people know that he's the, the father, or whatever. As far as comeback songs, not comebacks. What is the word that I'm trying to think of that I can't? When what is I can't even think of the word, but you guys know what I'm talking about. As far as you responding to a song that's about you, in these supposed beefs, Pusha T was very effective in what he wanted to do. It was one of those shocking, oh my God, he said a lot of things that I'm sure kind of could cut Drake to the core. And so yeah, if he was really trying to make Drake look bad, I think that he achieved that. But I don't know if this makes me feel like, Drake is knocked off of his very well deserved stool that he's on. I mean, this is not going to make me be like, oh yeah, Pusha T for president and completely forget about Drake, because like I said, I don't know who Pusha T is. Not that I'm the deciding factor on what is and isn't hip hop out there and who is and isn't a rapper that's known, but I still feel like Drake, I don't feel, I mean, it was a good punch. It was a good punch. But I still feel like Drake is going to be fine. I'm sure he's going to be fine. What did kind of affect Drake negatively is this picture that Pusha T attached to this song as well, which is Drake in blackface, called a man tan. And when you just see the pictures, I saw it, I was just like, oh God, please tell me, well, why did Drake do this? Okay, you don't get any kind of explanation on why he would put those pictures out. It's a picture of him. One is in color, with the black face with the big red lips, and then the other one is in black and white where he's just looking down and looking sad. But that picture was also very shocking, because in this day of race, and I just told you how sensitive everybody is, immediately you see somebody in blackface, that is something that you immediately feel offended by. So I was just like, I know Drake knows better than to just do something like this all willy-nilly, so I figured there must be an explanation. And there was. It was something that he did back in 2007. Like I said, things you could do back then you can't do today. But it was an artistic piece that he did with a friend of his, where they were just trying to capture and picture the struggles that the black actor goes through, as opposed to what the white actor goes through when trying to get these roles, whether they're comedy or dramatic or whatever, and what black men have to go through. So, I mean, that made sense when you finally understand the reasoning for doing it, but you just start to think like, oh, just today, don't do blackface. That's just it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Okay? Because some people are just never going to understand. I don't understand what the beef is for. Okay? I keep hearing people say that Drake, used to love Pusha T, and when he was part of Clips, was he part of Clips? And Drake had been, really idolized him at one time. So I don't really know where it all fell apart. And that's where you guys can come in. Y'all can correct me wherever I'm wrong. I just really don't understand what the beef is. And speaking of beefs, Kanye West and Rhymefest, that's an unfortunate, and I don't even want to call that a beef, because more so that is some people that had relationships, friendships, family, where you have Rhymefest and Kanye West obviously were very close back in the day, enough for Kanye West to put him in charge of Donda's House, which is the non-profit organization that was built out in Chicago to help the youth of Chicago. Kim Kardashian tried to explain the history there, but I have a feeling that it's just way, way more to it than Kanye putting Rhymefest in charge, him maybe mismanaging somewhere in there, Kanye West then pulling out from supporting the foundation, Rhymefest getting into his feelings and kind of inserting himself in the Drake and Kanye beef by saying, why don't you give some money that you make from the diss record, give that to the foundation, since Kanye West said fuck the youth of Chicago. I can't really speak on what's going on there, other than the fact that it's unfortunate that there's this foundation that was there for the good has now been tarnished because Kim Kardashian, I mean, I'm all for riding for your man, and you can admire that in her. But to me, I just was like, girl, just get out of it, because this is obviously between two black men who have had so much history and so much stuff has happened. Let them figure that shit out. Now, we all probably feel that Kanye was the one that was typing that up, or at least telling her what to say. But it got so bad to now Rhymefest and Donda's House, they have changed the name of the organization, and they're letting all of their patrons and other supporters know how they're going to step forward. But I just hate to see stuff like that get hashed out in public, because you can tell that it was way deeper with way more feelings, and just involved there. So that's kind of my feeling on that. But you guys let me know what you feel about this whole Drake and Pusha T beef. Let me know what you think about the fact that Pusha T is using Whitney Houston's picture, her bathroom, on his cover. Let me know what you think about this whole Nanda's house, Kanye and Rhymefest beef. I'm so tired of talking about Kanye. I'm about to retire him. But yeah, this week you guys let me know what you think. Oh my God, it's so hot. I had to turn on the air. It is burning. It's like so weird. You wouldn't think it's hot, but it's fucking humid, and I hate the summers here in Atlanta. Anyway, speaking of Kim Kardashian, let's talk about her going to meet with y'all stupid ass President Trump yesterday. They said that she was going to talk about prison reform, but she specifically was going down there to talk to Trump about AliceMarieJohnson. AliceMarieJohnson is a woman who was sentenced to life in prison back in 1997 for being involved in a drug trafficking ring, basically. This drug trafficking organization had more than 12 people, so I guess that was the reason why it was upped to, her chances of getting life in prison. She's been in there for 21 years now, and they feel that she has paid back her debt to society. She was convicted on a nonviolent charge. She was not the leader of this organization. She did not even handle any drugs. She was the person who would relay coded messages, I guess, for the drug dealers and the way it was dispensed. So she was one of 12 people or so. They say that the 10 people that testified against her that were also involved, because they testified against her, they received either lesser sentences or dropped sentences altogether, and kind of looked like they all pinned it on this woman, AliceMarieJohnson. Now, nobody is saying that Alice is not guilty. She did what she did. They put her in jail, but they feel that she has paid her debt to society. So Kim Kardashian and her lawyers, her team, they have latched on to Alice's struggle, and now they are trying to get y'all stupid ass president to give her clemency and get her out of jail. So that is the reason why she's there. When I read the story and, they just said that she was going to talk about prison reform, I was just like, what a strange thing for her to be talking about. But then, I had to really have a talk with myself and say, Roxanne, listen, somebody's got to do it. If there aren't people, if I'm not willing or other people are not willing to go and try to make these changes, then why be upset with somebody who is trying to do what they're trying to do? If this girl, Kim Kardashian, is able to get this one black woman out of jail who's been in there for so long for a nonviolent offense, then I'm perfectly fine with that, and more power to her. She's also latched onto a couple of other cases, and the Kardashian family, with all of the shit that happens, they have made some differences in some black people's lives. Okay, they've given money to some organizations in Watts, and like I said, she's doing this, and she's also trying to help that other girl. I can't even think of her name right now, but they made that movie about her with Lance Gross and Lil Mama, the one who was she had been exploited basically her whole life, and she was a prostitute and all of that, and she ended up killing one of her Johns. Okay, she's also trying to help her, and I can't be mad. I cannot be mad. She's trying in whatever way. I can't even be worried about why she might be doing it. If these black women are freed, then I think it's a good thing. And if people can get out of their hate for the Kardashians, get out of the way of that, and really understand that if she can use her influence and her celebrity to try to help these people, then why not? It's a good thing. So I don't have a problem with it. Hopefully some good does come out of this, and this woman does get out of jail. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. I'm sure the story will hit the media if she is let go. But yeah, I don't think that people should be so quick to be mad at Kim about every fucking thing. Okay? She's trying to help one of ours, and I can never be mad about that. So hopefully Miss AliceMarieJohnson is able to get out of jail soon. right, you guys, so Morgan Freeman. This came out right after I did my top of the blogs last week. 16 women came out and said that Morgan Freeman had been inappropriate, that they had to deal with, unwanted sexual advances, him leering, him touching them, rubbing their back and whatnots. Collectively, they said that Morgan Freeman was a problem. All right, Morgan Freeman came out and said that he would never intentionally try to disrespect or make somebody feel uncomfortable. Maybe it was a remark. He didn't really admit to saying that he had said some inappropriate things, but if he did, that was never his intention. He just didn't realize that he was what he was saying. When I first heard the story, I will not lie, I was just sort of like, well, it's not surprising because, I had already prejudged Morgan Freeman from the story that we had heard about him having that affair with his step-granddaughter. You guys remember that was supposedly the reason why him and his wife broke up, because he was supposedly allegedly having an affair with the wife's granddaughter. Okay? And remember, they got into a car accident. Supposedly she was giving him a blowjob and all of that. Okay. That granddaughter has since died. She was killed by her drug addict boyfriend, stabbed in like a drugged fueled rage in an alleyway. I mean, just such a crazy story, right, you guys? But killed that way. They even said that the boyfriend was yelling out things about Morgan Freeman. And I mean, it's a lot going on with Morgan Freeman. So when I heard the story, I was just like, okay, not super surprising. They had some people come out, even some entertainment reporters. We had a Chloe Malas, I think that's her name. She came out and said, yeah, it's not just the actresses. He would also do it to reporters, and he would make us feel uncomfortable at the press junkets, and he would say all of these things. Chloe came out and said that he talked about how she was so ripe and how he wished that he was there, talking about the fact that she was 6 months pregnant, and none of it really made sense to me, but when I was reading it, I was just like, oh, that's sort of a creepy, weird thing to say. Well, Chloe, because she was feeling herself, decided to show the video of this press junket with Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, and Alan Arkin. Is that his last name? They were promoting one of their movies that was coming out, and it was very clear that when you finally saw it in its context, Morgan Freeman was not even talking to Chloe at the time, okay? It was so funny the way she set it up. She was at the CNN headquarters in the newsroom, and she was like, pay attention to his eyes and the way that he leered at me when he said, I wish I was there, and all of this. And child, when they showed the video, I was just like, now it's clear that he's talking to Michael Caine. He's not even talking to her. He's not talking about her. What the fuck is she talking about? So then when that came out, I was just like, now CNN, is this a concentrated effort for you to try to make Morgan Freeman look bad by putting this bullshit up there when it's clear that he's not even talking to her? So then I'm starting to give it the side eye, because I was like, please don't let this be a case where all white women think that black men want them, because that is not what it is. Now, granted, Morgan Freeman, again, he's from the old school. They used to do shit a whole lot different back then, and old people, they have a hard time trying to, transform and, bind themselves in the new way of thinking. I see it at work sometimes when they talk about sexual harassment. The shit that can be considered sexual harassment, a lot of the older guys was just like, that's sexual harassment? Like, it doesn't even make sense to them. To them, if they not 100% saying, oh, I want to fuck you, or look at how big your booty is, or look at your titties, or something like that, anything else, they don't understand how that could be considered harassment. So not trying to give no excuse for Morgan Freeman at all, but I think that he's from a different era, and now we got this new era that is giving them some grief. But again, when you think about the decisions that he's made as far as his step-granddaughter is concerned and all of that, then it just kind of makes you just be like, well, Well, I don't know. Okay, we do know that Chloe had the shit wrong, though. At least on that instance. I can't speak for the other women that are involved, but I was just like, Chloe, that baby, that's some bullshit. He was not talking to you. He was not leering at you. He was not wanting to be in you. He was not saying how ripe you were. Any of that. So they're gonna give Morgan a whole lot of grief. Now, first, he's had like 2 or 3 statements that have come out. You know, the first one that I told you guys about, where he said he didn't intentionally do it. Then the second one was sort of like, nah, I didn't do this. And, you know, the third one finally is he wants CNN to retract that whole article, because he felt like, you know, especially after the video came out, I think they felt like, oh, this is what the hell they standing on? That's nothing. He kind of should have never said anything from the beginning until he got with his lawyers, but I think he was just emotional and acting off of, you know, everybody coming at him immediately. But yeah, this Me Too thing has been hell for so many people, and I think it's going to come to a point where they're going to have to really have some proof, as opposed to them just coming out. Because right now, it's just as soon as they say that you did it, you know, immediately everything starts to happen. And I don't know if that is really fair for people that might be wrongly accused. So we're going to see how this Me Too movement goes on. But it's a rough time for the men in Hollywood. Let's talk about Quad and Dr. Gregory, Dr. G. You guys know I don't watch Married to Medicine, but I've watched episodes here and there enough to know who was who. When Quad and Dr. G, they never ever seemed like a real compatible couple to me. They never seemed the happiest. They seemed like they wanted different things. And I was already wondering how long that marriage was going to last. He wanted kids. She didn't seem to want kids. You know, he wanted more of the, you know, doting wife. And I think that that's just not what Quad was or ever will be. She has some selfish ways about herself. And you know, and then we all know how reality shows will affect these marriages anyway. So I was just like, them two probably are not going to make it. Well, lo and behold, this last season, their 5th season, on the reunion, we found out that Dr. G had made some questionable decisions, had met up with some girls with his boys, and they decided to get a hotel room and go into this hotel room. While they were in there, I guess the girls had snapped pictures of them, and then they proceeded to reach out to Quad and try to extort money from her. Hush money, okay? Either you give me this money or I'm gonna let everybody know that your husband was in the hotel room with us. Instead, Quad decided to let everybody know on the fucking reunion, okay? She was not paying these women. Dr. Gregory hadn't been caught in the hotel room with these women. Now, he kept maintaining that he didn't do anything, that he didn't cheat, but the intention, I believe, was to do something. And once he realized he was in this room with these women and everything, maybe he started to feel, you know, a certain kind of way about it, and had made the decision like, okay, I'm tripping. Let me get my ass up out of here. But the damage had already been done. The girls had already taken the pictures and already sent it to her. They had threatened that they was going to send it to the shade room. So when she told everybody that kind of let you know, okay, this marriage is definitely on the rocks. And sure enough, they say that she filed for divorce earlier this year. Now, quietly, I guess they both moved out of the marital home, but they still have their home there. I guess she's living wherever she's living. He's living wherever he's living. But last week or so, she went back to the marital home and moved all the fucking furniture out, TVs and furniture and a whole bunch of other stuff that they had acquired together. And so when he went back to the house and realized that all that shit was gone, now he wants the judge to make her return it. He's saying that she willfully violated the automatic domestic standing order. Okay, and he's also asking for money back for his, for him having to even filed for this bullshit in the first place. Reality shows is hell on marriages, and then, just your added exposure to people who already want to catch you and shit like this. These women whose obviously their intention was to take these pictures and kind of blackmail him. Even me not watching that show all the time, but kind of every time I seem to watch it, it just showed that Dr. G and Quad wasn't gonna make it, I wasn't surprised at all. We'll see how they put this, her happenings with him into the next season. I guess the divorce will be on display. Okay, but yeah, Quad was just like, baby, I'm out of here and I got all this shit. She's petty, so I can imagine her doing something like that. Alright, you guys, and then lastly in Quickies, they say that SZA has permanently damaged her vocal cords, or at least in a tweet and delete, she said something about her vocal cords being damaged. Now, you guys know a couple of weeks ago she came out and said that she needed to take a break. I think it was right after Coachella, because her vocal cords were swollen and she was trying to take every measure to keep them from getting permanently messed up. So I thought that meant that she wasn't doing any more touring. But evidently she still is on the road or doing something. So she was out singing again, and her throat, she had laryngitis and her throat was screwed up, and now she's saying that she's permanently damaged her vocal cords. I'm just saying that maybe the girl need a break, because we've been hearing her not complain, but it just seems like things have gotten too overwhelming for SZA right now. Overwhelmed with the fame, overwhelmed with the expectation to be able to sing live, overwhelmed with, just everything right now. And maybe it's best to kind of try to get your mental and your physical together and take a break. So if she's saying that her voice was permanently damaged, to make it to keep it from getting any worse, maybe we just really do need to take this break. Get your life together, get your mind together, and then come on back, because people will be waiting for her. But I think that just from hearing about her and everything, that I really want this girl to be able to take care of herself and be okay. And sometimes it just means that you got to take a step back from everything. Congratulations are in order to Bridget Nielsen. She's pregnant, 54 years old. Child, I swear I thought that woman was closer to 60. I had to really think about it, and I was like, okay, yeah, she was younger than Sylvester Stallone when they got married. So, maybe, but still, 54, she looked a hard 54. But that's neither here nor there. I'm talking about happy times, at least I guess for them, child, because better her than me. 54 fucking years old, pregnant with her 5th child. Now, this is her first child with her 39-year-old husband, Mattia Desi. But like I said, Bridget has 4 other kids. Okay, they range from 23 years old to 34 fucking years old. And you start all the way over and have a brand new baby. That lady is going to be, 72 years old when her child graduates from high school? Absolutely not. She is going to be so fucking stressed out when that child gets to about 12, 13. Who the fuck want to be old and be running after these crazy ass kids at that time? I said, oh no. But she say she happy. And she's posting pictures of her and her pregnant belly and everything, child, whatever. I ain't gonna say no more about it, because y'all always get on me when I talk about these pregnant old ladies. But okay. Congratulations to Bridget and Massey. Deborah Lee, she's stepping down as the CEO of BET. 30 years she's been working there. I think she started as a VP and general counsel in 1986. And then she was elevated to president and COO in 1996. And then she became the chairman and CEO in 2005. I remember when we met her on the BET Awards. She was terrified up on that stage, looked a mess, okay, voice shaking, reminded me of Roseanne Barr, ironically. I've always said it, even still to this day she does, but she's a way more polished and comfortable black woman. She's responsible for a lot of things that have happened at BET since she's been there. She oversaw the launching of BET.com. She oversaw BET Her. She got the television rights to Black Girls Rock. She's been on numerous boards and organizations, and she say that she will continue to do that. But yeah, she's ready to take a step back, and I'm just really trying to call it more of a retirement. They've been trying to groom this guy, Scott B. Mills, who became the president a few years ago. I think they've been grooming him for her position. So she kind of stepped back when he came about and kind of was trying to get him used to the position and letting him make more of the daily decisions and, you know, the daily operations of BET. But yeah, Deborah Lee says she done, and good for her. Okay, so fist pump of righteousness for the black girl magic that is Deborah Lee. I wasn't quite sure how she was gonna fit in at the beginning, but she has come a long way, and she's also carried that channel a long way. So congratulations to Miss Deborah Lee as she goes off into the retirement life. Must be nice. They say that Tiffany Haddish's ex, William Stewart Sr., and his mama, Elnora Doherty, they're suing Tiffany Haddish for claims that he beat her in her autobiography. If you guys will remember, when that autobiography came out, he immediately said that it was not true. Also in the book, she said that he beat her because his mother used to beat him, so that was pretty much all he knew. That's where Elnora was like, "Oh hell, fuck no, bitch." Okay, so Elnora got in on that suit, that lawsuit as well. But yeah, the ghostwriter Tucker Tiber Max, I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, but Tiffany had come out and said that Tucker might have embellished the story for entertainment purposes, and I guess this happens, but what ends up happening a lot of times is you have now besmirchified shout out to Don King, you have now kind of painted this bad picture for people that are still out and having, you know, alive and having to live with, you know, people thinking that they are women beaters and child beaters, wife beaters. Yeah, I mean, I can understand embellishing, but when it comes to the livelihoods of other people and whether, I mean, something so terrible, maybe they could have embellished in other ways. So I don't blame them for suing. I'm sure they just want money out of this, and maybe Tiffany and her lawyers and all can try to settle this. Now, the crazy thing is I've heard people say, no, he did used to beat her. But he's saying that he didn't, and then I remember hearing her say that they kind of embellished the story, so I don't even know what to think of the whole thing. Is it true or is it not true? Did he beat her or did he not? Okay, but that's neither here nor there. William said he's suing. Okay, fuck you, pay me. And then lastly, miscellaneous, you guys. I didn't watch Black Ink Chicago. I know I said I wanted to add another show, but you guys, I just don't know if my mind is, I don't know if I want to deal with that much ignorance. For how many episodes do they usually have of that show? Is it 16? I really got to think about it tonight, and then if you guys see it pop up tomorrow, then you guys will know. But something is just in me that's making me not want to do it. I watched all of Claws, the first season, yesterday, and I actually enjoyed it a lot. So I'm almost feeling like I'm leaning towards Claws, even though my Twitter, even when I did the Twitter poll, you guys did want Black Ink way more than Claws, but I don't know. I'm gonna still think about it tonight. Now y'all will know by tomorrow. As far as basketball wise, people keep asking me, no, we're not doing it. I don't watch nothing that even pertains to basketball wise. I could care less. So this whole thing with Takari on Hollywood Unlocked, or whatever the name of the interview show is, I didn't watch it. I don't care. All I know is they keep on every season. You know, we don't hear nothing about Takari and Jackie until the show is on, and then all of a sudden Takari is everywhere talking about her mama not taking care of her, not caring and not helping and all of that. I cannot be concerned. All I can say is God bless them both, and hopefully, you know, that they can figure out their relationship in the future. And lastly, happy birthday to my rock star Catherine. Okay, her son Killer Kev reached out. I'm assuming his name is Kevin. Reached out and told me that it's Catherine's 60th birthday and that she watches all the time and that she laughs uncontrollably. I'm so glad that I got you guys out there who laugh with me. Happy birthday to Catherine. I hope you have a wonderful 60th birthday. I don't know what you might be getting into, but whatever it is, I hope it involves a whole lot of laughter and love. Okay, and that is it. Y'all wish Miss Catherine a happy birthday as well. Alright, you guys, I said let me get off of here. We do this every single week, so make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.